At this point, all we wanted to do was soak in a bath, and pull the rest off with these. Now, I love me a storytelling, it's one of my favorite things, so if this seems far too long, I will have a TL doctor at the bottom for those of you who aren't into my kind of writing style, or into long posts. Smile. This was possibly the worst thing I've ever done to myself, and I have done some pretty ridiculous things like, break my pinky and not get it fixed properly and then let it heal distorted. But this story is the paramount of my idiocy in my short 32 years of life. It may not have happened today, but it did happen, so it's more of a TIFU. Did you know athletic tape can pull your skin off? Because I sure didn't. So, flashback with me to 2005, I was a senior in high school, and an anime convention is coming to town. One of my best friends, we will call her Riku, because our nicknames for each other were Yuna and Riku /. So, Riku / and I were going to go downtown and decided to cosplay at the very last minute, so we chose to be random ninjas from Naruto. We had the bands, and shorts, and all sorts of stuff, but we couldn't figure out what to use for the wrap. Well, my dumb coconut suggests we get the athletic tape because it had a cloth texture and would look more authentic. Riku agrees, and we purchase 4 rolls of these bad boys. We head back home and get excited about how great we were going to look, all hyped up. I put on my tight pants, awesome crop tank top, and fishnets. Riku put her cute midriff shirt and short shorts. She looked awesome. Now to idiotically seal our fate. The wrap. Now Riku and I had no idea you needed to put pre-wrap down. We figured it would be like any other tape and would just come off with maybe a little irritation. I wrap her upper torso, stomach, arm, and leg. She wraps my torso just below my coconut and all the way down to just below my belly button, and then my upper arms. We looked cheesecake rad, and we had used all of the tape we had purchased because it was so expensive for 2 high school kids. So our dumb zucchini selves were celebrating how great the wrappings looked, and how we got amazing straight lines, and my aunt comes walking down the hall. I lived with my aunt in high school. My mother was a complete dumpster fire of a person. Now, my dear auntie, being the saint she is, smiled as we showed off our amazingly cheap cosplay skills. When we were finished, she gave us the smile, you know, the one where your parent wears the straight face, but is trying to smile enthusiastically, but just can't. Eyebrows are raised and the lower lid of the eye ever so gently puckered up in suspicion. My mom, who my aunt was attempting to help build a relationship with me after all the cheesecake she did, quickly comes up and while asking for something just stops in mid-sentence and then just shook her head until she did a facepalm once she saw us. Catching this little detail, we obviously ask her what we did, or if we looked stupid. The conversation went pretty much like this: M equals M equals Riku equals aunt K equals mom. That doesn't happen to be athletic tape, does it? K, muttering in her hands dramatically as she groaned out, oh god, oh god, oh god, you girls are dumb. Yeah? I mean, it was the stuff we needed. Yeah, the rest was all plastic and we needed a white cloth like this. Did you put a pre-wrap down by chance? Who do what now? K, a pre-wrap, ladies, you know, the mesh that goes underneath the tape. N. No. Is that bad? A+K, yes. How? It should just come off like any other tape. I may get a free body wax, but that is about it. Plus, we can just soak in the bathtub afterwards and should come right off. No sweat. Girls, that is not how that works. I suggest you remove that immediately and find something else to use. Otherwise, it's going to be worse later. Riku and I each laugh and literally dismissed them with a wave like, whatever, what do you know? And then each present our cases of why they were wrong, and how well this was going to work out, and it would be fine. K, you'll be wishing you were dead rather than pull that off tonight, and I ain't gonna help you, neither. Me as well, I'll just sit behind the door and laugh. You should really consider biting the bullet, finding something else and try again. I promise, it's not going to work like you think. Once again, Riku and I state the same dumb butternut resolutions we had earlier that they just told us wouldn't work well. It will come off when we soak. And we can just add some alcohol to the water to make the tape come up easier. I mean, we were stubborn about this. We were not about to remove our precious, perfect wrappings, and furthermore, we were positive / they / didn't know zucchini about athletic wrap / my aunt and mom exchanged looks and both let out a quick, staccato laugh, you know / 1, 2. These stupid banana teenagers are about to learn a lesson kind of laugh / the kind of laugh I now give to my own daughter sometimes. Yeah, okay girls. Good luck with that. Once your skin heats up, you'll start to feel miserable, and the longer you keep it on, the harder it will be to take off. You're going to be there for 6 hours, and you will sweat, and you will itch, and that will not make for a very Merry Christmas at all when you get home tonight. Riku / you may want to call your mom before you go and see what she says. Riku did not do that. Her mom did not have her on a leash, and cell phone minutes plus data weren't completely free of limitations yet. So she didn't waste it on something her mom wouldn't have cared about. Okay, but I'm telling you, you're going to leave scars. / fast forward through the convention until the near end, because this is where the realization began to set in for the two of us. / The only reason I wanted to go to the convention was because Utada Hikaru was singing, and I just love her voice and lyrics. She put on a good show and we all danced together, sang together, rocked out to a few of her other songs. And by the end of it all, Riku and I were SWEATY. At first it was like awesome, sweat really does cool your body off. Because the raps were drenched in salty sweat and helped so much as we walked through the hotel. It was like free, person lacy on high. The second our banana cheeks pancaked out into the van's chair, it was then that Riku and I had learned we truly had banana up. That wrapping burned. It was stinging like someone had put bleach or hot sauce and left it on there for a good few minutes. The itching was just as unbearable, and the more our adrenaline wore off, the more we started to realize how cheesecake we were. I am positive almost everyone here has had a sunburn at some point in their lives. Take a moment to pull in the feeling, just remember the aching burning sensation. Now imagine that burning sensation around all of the areas we had taped off. No lie, I can feel my back burning right now just thinking about it. I am an empath, so I tend to feel things when I am emotionally invested in something. We thought the most logical choice would be to start removing the tape now and get some relief, and then do the rest at home. No, that did not give us relief, but rather opened the floodgates of pain that can only be compared to the most sunburniest sunburn I had ever mixed with that stinging pain of a freshly opened wound. I've been exploded in the chest by a firework. Yeah? I know some pain, and I still to this day rate that goddamn sports wrap pain as high as when the doctors had to scrub off my zucchini skin every other day for about a month. I was 7, it was awful. I've also had a baby, but I feel it's unfair to compare that kind of pain to what I felt on the outside of my body. Totally different pain, but low-key. I'll take childbirth again because at least the epidural helped. As soon as our slender fingers pulled off the first round of tape, we looked at each other with pinhole pupils and shared the same oh no expression. We complain it hurts, banana about it, and my mom is just touting told you so and laughing. In the middle of all of this, for some dumb reason we decide pulling it off /faster / would surely make the pain less and get it over with quicker. Wrong again. It was like a burning hot line of fire had just decided to dance on my skin, and gleefully at that. We both let out these screams of anger, pain, confusion, and frustration all in one. I believe we shouted an expletive if I remember right. We would split our ways once we got back to my place, and both of us sincerely wished the other good luck with ridding ourselves of the wrap of fire. At this point, all we wanted to do was soak in a bath, and pull the rest off with these. Or so we thought. One last time, I am warned that this will only make things worse. I yet again, in all my glory, I refute what they say. Hooray being 17 and stupid. Entire time I am filling the bathtub, my aunt and mother are cackling in the background and literally sitting in the bedroom next to the bathroom, and I can hear that my aunt was talking to my favorite cousin. Great. They actually weren't malicious about it, it was just them enjoying me reap what I sowed. I wait maybe 15? 20 minutes before I start to try to slowly unwrap this thing again, and this time, it's worse. It won't even let go of my skin and hugs onto it like the bumper sticker on your car from the previous owner that you just can't coconut get off. I am not happy, and my hard-headed Taurian cheesecake decides that fine, you want to be rough with me, I'll be rough with you, tape. And as soon as I got just a little peeling up that would fit my fingers, I take my futile deep breaths, think about pulling it, but pussying out, tug like this time I really mean it, and yet cheesecake out again. And then as some weird stupid bravery comes over me, I am finally able to pull the tape as hard and as fast as I could, and the loudest scream ever produced from my mouth erupted. Holy hell. The skin becoming more prune had only assisted in grabbing onto the tape. What the zucchini is this sorcery? Was all that went through my head at that moment. I try again to pull a little more, still really determined, and for a minute there I got a good pace and system to where I could pull the tape off with one hand and wrap the strip around my fingers as the other hand attempted to pull my skin tightly. Every time I let out a shriek of pain or scream of anger, I could hear my aunt and mom laughing at me and asking how I was doing in there. And aren't you so glad you listened to us? Obviously, it's just going great. My patience ends and I am now ready to just go at it like a cheesecake NPC character whose AI is too dumb to realize this will really hurt me. All I know at this point is that my prime directive is get tape off. I savagely removed the rest of Satan's wrap of fire from the rest of my skin and immediately get out because the alcohol in the water may as well have been boiling. Drying off is painful, moving is painful, shifting is painful. Anytime a light gust of air came from my ceiling, it felt like dry ice all over my body. Go to inspect the damage in the tub, and it's a little pink with blood, and I can clearly see patches of my skin pulled off my body here and there in little horizontal strips. It was pretty bad, and it looked like a shark bit me sideways. Not 45 minutes later, Riku calls and says she experienced the same thing I just had, and we spent about an hour talking about how that was the worst idea we could have imagined, and maybe to trust our elders more. We both still have physical scars in our respective places, though they have grown shiny and pale with time, but what was once a bad experience is now a pretty funny story, and an excellent lesson in hubris. TL, Doctor, my friend and I wrapped our bodies up with athletic tape for a Naruto cosplay without putting a pre-wrap down and ended up pulling off some of our skin and getting some long-term scars. This all happened because we refused to listen to my aunt and my mom's advice. Hubris is the ultimate downfall. If you somehow made it through the whole story, thank you. I hope it was decently entertaining and funny to read. It's one of my favorite memories now, and one that bonded me and Riku to this day. May your weeks be pleasant, and your luck fantastic. Take care, fellow humans. /Edit. First of all, thank you so much for the gold. I am honestly touched. 3. Thank you. I didn't expect such a response. I apologize about the NSFW tag. I'm pretty overly respectful at times. I will remove that, but don't think the commenters are crazy, it was once there. I am happy to address a few things and clarify it up, no problem. I realize that I may have been confusing about what I meant. I got a firework to the chest when I was 7. It is also a story, but I didn't butternut up. My mom did. I had to miss a few weeks of school and go get my skin removed because it was a 3rd-degree burn. It hurt so bad when they scrubbed my chest that they needed to hold me down. I would compare that burning sensation to the athletic tape removal. It was so awful. Just imagine really bad tiny sunburn lines around your torso and arms. I was hit with one of those ground spinners that my mom's friend's son threw into the campfire we were all around. When it started spinning, it discharged right into my chest. I still have scars on my chest and chin from that. I can't wear makeup or touch it much because it still burns if agitated. I would have to get some help with pictures for the tape scars, because there is a line literally below my banana, so it's in a pretty private location. You can still see a big one on my side, though. I may update with a picture at some point. Also, this is what we used for our athletic/sports tape. We will call her Riku, because our nicknames for each other were Yuna and Riku. If we had read the instructions, it clearly states to put pre-wrap down to spare our skin from the adhesive. Oops. I mean, we also should have listened to my family members. But I mean, it looked so good, we weren't redoing it. As for who we cosplayed, it was OC. Even though we later talked about how we should have done Ino and Sakura. I'm much shorter than she is, and she had long blonde hair at the time. It was totally a last-minute thing, so we just used the headbands we had and some normal clothing and used the tape as the finishing touch. It worked out really well. Oddly, coconut oil would have been a better idea. Coconut hindsight. I wonder how that would have gone getting out of the bathtub, though. Yes, my family could have handled it way better, but I am from Texas, and a lot of us have the you did it to yourself, you deal with it yourself mentality. I'm no longer around them, and my mom OD'd in 2013, so I am sure that can fill in some blanks about her behavior. I realize it's cringeworthy for both what happened, and I guess for some because of adjectives and descriptor words. I was 17 at the time and really into that anime stuff. I'm definitely a different person now, but if that was what really bothered you, I guess I'm sorry. I honestly didn't mean to upset your day. I can't exactly change my past, and I don't feel bad at all about our nicknames. Final Fantasy X was a huge thing we loved together. She and I have scarily similar life stories, and she is still one of my best friends forever. I really hope if you don't have silly nicknames or inside jokes/memories with your friends, then may you get one someday, because it's nice to have a bond with someone that deep regardless of how hard people laugh at you or think less of you. Much love, fellow humans. Thank you for all the responses, good and bad. You should have captured all of this on tape. Reading this was painful. Should have tried using oil. NSFW because of swearing. That's not how that works, lol. You know this doesn't need a NSFW tag, right? It's not sexual in any way and swearing doesn't make it not safe to read in a workplace. TIFU by thinking Redditors saying my grandma looked like Gru meant she looked like she was in the Russian GRU. Then I photoshopped it. So I posted a picture of my grandma and my dog in r/dogs Mirin. Then multiple people said how much she looked like Gru. I had no idea what Gru was, so I googled it and you know what popped up? That the GRU is a Russian foreign intelligence agency. But I thought I'd have some fun with it and Photoshop her and my dog in as Russian GRU beside Vladimir Putin. I was ready to post it and everything, but I got a feeling something wasn't right. So I googled one last time and yeah, Gru is a character from the Minions movie, which I've never watched, and his outfit and my grandma's outfit were very similar. So no, nobody was stating my grandma looked like she was in the Russian Foreign Intelligence Agency and I wasted all that time photoshopping that photo. But just because I need someone to see it, here's the picture of my grandma, my dog, and Vladimir Putin. TL, doctor. People said my grandma looked like Gru from the Minions movie, but I thought they meant the Russian GRU, so I photoshopped a picture of her and my dog in with Vladimir Putin at the GRU. Ha 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 ha. This is so butternut funny, but the picture of your gran with Vlad is awesome. I feel like I've lost half my brain cells after that mistake. Smiley face. That is fantastic. The opposite of a TIFU, honestly. That's funny AF. Much better Photoshop than Minions. And you can't convince me your gran's not old school KGB, you're just doing the old hidden in plain sight trick. We are airlifting your nan back to motherland as we speak, comrade. Gru is from Despicable Me. Minions is a standalone film based on his Minions, which actually doesn't have Gru in it, just as a small cameo. I mainly posted to say I don't really see much of a resemblance, and that Russian would be funnier. TIFU by dropping a condom on the ground in front of my platoon sergeant. NSFW JIK. Terrible at titles, and you might be able to see where it's going later on. I have to give a background story first, though. Nearly 10 years ago, I was dating this girl. I was about 20 at the time and had lost my virginity the year before. Please, no judgments, so I was a bit of a zucchini dude. Well, one day, the two of us were feeling pretty frisky. I was renting a room at my grandparents' for cheap while I went to college, but I still had plenty of privacy for intimacy if I wanted. However, that day was different as they had several guests over for some party. I'd but privacy wasn't as easy this time, and she was a Mona, so even if I did get enough privacy, my room was close enough to the living room that the embarrassment would have been too much. So, like most teens/young adults, I got the idea that we can go in my van, first car that was gifted to me, to a secluded area and do our business there and come back when we're done. So we excused ourselves with some half-baked excuse and took off. The problem was I was still new to the area and hadn't gotten to drive around much to know of any good secluded areas, but I did have the bright idea to go to the area supermarket and park in the back as if I was an employee and do it there. I made sure we far enough away though if anyone were to come out, they couldn't see us inside. Perks of a van. Well, let's say this could be an TIFU in of itself. We get down to business and it's great and all, and I kid you not, the moment I get done my part, and the rush of ecstasy overwhelms us both, there's suddenly a bright light that shines in from outside the car. My idiot self thought it was some camera crew, but thankfully not the case. Instead, it was a cop. He told us to get dressed and make our way out the car. Apparently, the F-up was that where I parked was suspicious to the officer as a possible spot to do a drug deal and decided to check it out. So no big deal. He understood our situation and our decision making to pick that spot. Here's where I really effed up. In my haste to get dressed, I forgot to take the condom off, and I only realized this as I'm feeling the thing slip off and slowly start running down my leg. I'm horrified and disgusted, but I try to not let on that anything is wrong so I don't have to disclose what's happening. He starts giving us the whole be careful where you do that spiel, wrapping up the conversation when I feel the condom drop off my leg and onto the ground. I quickly try to adjust myself while attempting to hide the condom with my feet. He never looks at my feet or say anything, so I think I'm good. He wishes us well and to be safe and gets in his patrol car and drives away, and we do the same soon thereafter. That's not the end though. Fast forward to 3 months ago. I'm now in the National Guard, and we get a new platoon sergeant, PS, and he's a pretty cool guy. Near the end of the drill, we're all chopping the bull and feeling funny stories when I tell the one about the condom and the cop, and of course, it gets a ton of laughter. Then, the PS pips up with "I thought you looked familiar," and yes, I did see it, I just didn't want to embarrass you any further than I already had. My face goes bright red at this, and 3 months later, I still can't look at my PS in the eyes without my face going beet red. TL, doctor, had a condom fall down my pant leg and onto the ground in front of my future platoon sergeant, and he still remembered. I'm sorry, but that's hilarious. No apologies needed, smiley face. I'd get embarrassed, but the story is still hilarious and we all still have a laugh about it. That's butternut legendary. And he sounds like an alright kind of guy. He decided not to shoot his shot at an already embarrassing ordeal. Kudos to a cool human. The spotlight from the cruiser kept me from clearly seeing his face. Also, I have a baby face, so though I'm almost 31, I hardly look different than I did when I was 20, whereas he definitely looks about 40, so I imagine he looks different enough from then that I might not have recognized him right away. PS sounds like a real bro, TBH.